What's happening, everybody? Thanks for joining us here at the Level Down Podcast. I'm Devin, that's Del. But first off, who cares how we're doing today? We're joined together by Dan and Mark, the host of I Can Do This All Day podcast. Fellas, how are you guys doing?
Yes, welcome.
We're just excited to be here. Hello there, everybody.
Super happy to be here. We're psyched. We're happy to join forces. But two worlds become one, and this is going to blow the people's minds. So
incursions! Oh my God, incursions! I don't know.
First, I want to start off with just acknowledging your podcast. Fellas, tell us about the podcast that you guys created and what makes y'all continue to do what y'all do.
So Mark and I, we used to work together, and we just happened to, I moved across the country and to Florida, so he's still in the Chicagoland area, and we used to just talk about movies and all, Marvel, DC, all the cool geek nerd stuff, right? And it still continued on because we were able to kind of revisit and reconnect on some work trips. So we were able to talk about this stuff, and then COVID came around, and it's like, hey, you want to do a podcast and just kind of talk about the stuff that we normally talk about? And that's kind of where we are. But Mark, what about you?
Yeah, no, I think that I'll elaborate a little bit on Dan's story. Is we used to work together and waste as much time as humanly possible during those work days talking about anything and everything that we enjoyed. And we aligned on a lot of topics that now filter into our podcast. Usually movies that hit certain genres that are millennial friendly and nerddom strong. And yeah, no, Dan had probably been talking about either doing a podcast or starting a food truck for like 3 or 4 years. And COVID, not the best opportunity to start a food truck. So there we go. We started a podcast, and like, I don't even know how many years later, we're still every week getting a chance to call out hypocrisy on each other, because the hypocrisy is strong on the I Can Do This All Day podcast. And yeah, we've just been rolling. We've been rolling.
That's awesome. Like I've binged a lot of your work. A lot. Some I agree.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being that one person that listens. We appreciate you, Devin.
Yeah. It's great. You know, your podcast, it flows really well and it's entertaining to the point where I get in my car, I go about my day when I got an appointment, pause, and jump right back into it, and I don't feel like I missed a beat when you guys are talking about a movie, even if it's a movie that I've never seen, because I'm a sci-fi and horror guy, and y'all touch a lot on different movies, and I'm like, well, you know what? Let me go check this out.
Yeah, that's true. It's a super easy listen. Like, it's kind of like the first time we talked to you guys, and then like afterwards, it's like I'm kind of sort of in the conversation without being in the conversation, listening to the podcast. I really, really love that.
I do, yeah.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate that, and it's something where in my little mantra of this whole thing is like, if we're just entertaining people, kind of just giving people a chance to get away from the real world for a little bit and just kind of listen and even participate, whether it's comments or even just kind of yelling at your car saying you don't agree with us or you do agree with us. I love it. So thank you.
Yeah, for people that yell in the comments, though, because he is one of those people that reads all the comments and absolutely is like, how can I talk back to this person? So that's one area. And I appreciate that compliment, Devin and Del. And I want to pay one back to y'all, is my co-host does not get into some of the topics that y'all do, but that I'm a big fan of. I saw a more recent episode of yours talking about the downfall of Game Informer and all the video game magazine death, and I was like, Dan wouldn't understand me. Can't even bring this up on the podcast. But man, that stack of Game Informers over there just went up in value. I'm excited. Yeah, that puts them in the back.
Right. Start framing them.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, I didn't think about framing them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't tell me you're about framing them and you got all those comics back there.
But the ones over this shoulder, these are Silver and Bronze Age comics.
I mean, there probably are Silver and Bronze Age Game Informers.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
got like Nintendo
yeah.
Power One.
Oh, wow.
It's like chased up,
Ooh.
but man, like
Oh,
those are
boy.
the things.
Yikes.
That's something to have.
Yeah.
That's
I
making some of
mean,
my old school comics, put to shame.
This is gonna be like a horrible, like, just seedy underbelly of like Game Informer, like, trading now.
dude,
It's like,
it's gonna start being like Nintendo Power is. I don't know. I know we're getting completely tangential and off topic, but like
oh, we do this.
Nintendo
That's fine.
Powers are like $25 a piece now. Like
Hey, from the
crazy.
outsider looking in, though, from the outside looking in, this could be the next crypto. So there you go.
Dude, it's like comics. It's like Funko Pops. Like there's certain things that are just for some reason more valuable
Yeah.
than others.
Yeah, like
True.
I'm about to buy a lot of Game Informer magazines on eBay.
Yeah, like you get that cover of like that one, that one AAA title, like the first time it came out, or just anything.
That'd be awesome. I need that. I need to build
And
a
don't
Game
forget the
Informer
giveaways.
collection.
Like they used to do inserts and stuff.
Mhm.
I know Nintendo
Oh
Power did.
yeah.
There was an episode. There's an issue of Nintendo Power that had like some Pokemon card throwaway in there that like is now worth crazy amounts of money if it's got the Pokemon card in it.
That's
Who knows?
insane.
Who knew that stuff would all be crazy
Right.
valuable?
A lot of stuff is, a lot of stuff from our, childhood and things like that. I would have never thought, you
Nope.
know. I saved
All those toys I broke.
like my daughter is 9. She was really into Paw Patrol. I have it all. The plane, the boat, the bus, all the figures. She don't want them. I'm going to put them in storage. Because you never know what happens.
Dude, some of those, my son's really into Paw Patrol, and some of those like single figures, man, if you look on the Bay, like some people going crazy on eBay for reasons I don't understand.
I'm just hold them.
Dude, I love
Yeah,
it. It's like
just hold
stock
on to 'em.
investment at this point. We're holding.
Yeah.
So I know all the stuff now, so that's why you see this collection of stuff behind me. But no, you hit a chord with me when you were saying like all those toys you destroyed. Well, back in the day when I was a little kid, didn't appreciate toys, and I didn't really have that many toys, but my brother had these OG Star Wars action figures. OG, I'm talking about Wedge, Boba Fett, some of the Imperials as well. You know what I did with them? Because I was a 4-year-old kid that didn't know any better. What I did with those toys is I beheaded all of them. All of them. Because I was happy with my 5 G.I. Joes that I had. I was like, I don't care about this Star Wars stuff. I hadn't gotten into the movies just yet. And then afterwards, it was like, oh, yeah, I kind of messed up there.
That's money. Burning
Oh,
money.
It's like,
man.
what's this yellow thing coming out of this figure's arm?
Yeah.
I should
Yeah,
set
just
this on
put-
fire. I
Yeah,
don't know
just screw
anything.
Yeah. Fire and action figures.
Wow.
Boy.
Dan put them in the microwave and watched them melt.
I never did that. That's dangerous. But beheading them is
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, yeah, I had some horror stories with action figures, like making flamethrowers out of like matches and hairspray.
Yeah, I did that.
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
this was the 80s and early 90s though. There were action figures that like shot sparks.
Yeah.
Y'all have-
Legit.
Y'all had
Yes.
that Captain Planet action figure, and you pulled
Yeah.
the back, and that ginger
Yeah.
kid would just shoot them sparks
Yep.
out. I'm
Or
like,
that Punisher action figure that had the caps. You had to slide
Right?
the caps
Why
in
didn't he
and
give
move
me
the
a
thing
lighter?
so that.
I don't know what's happening here.
Wow. Those still. Damn. Now I need to. Y'all about to make me spend more money.
That's the
Glad we
joy of
could
the
help.
internet. That's the
Blow
joy of
a
the internet.
lot of
You can
money.
just do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
I think of something and I immediately buy it. Immediately.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm.
And
Hey,
how many
if your
games he's
figure-
just bought on the fly, just as we're like in conversation, and he's just like, "Oh, I just bought that game." I'm like,
Yeah. My game collection's crazy. On one platform, I have about 300.
Which
Jeez.
platform?
Steam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
all digital. I went full digital.
See, that's where you and I differ. If I can't get it in physical release, then I don't even.
"Okay,
I'm upset.
See, I'm like that with movies. I'll get a movie. digitally, and then I just copy it and save it to my external hard drive. Like Disney Plus, I shouldn't be saying this, but I own their entire collection.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In your mind,
people
you
may
stored
have
all
said,
here.
but
Yeah,
those people drink.
a
So
lot.
We're safe.
Yeah.
Allegedly. We're good.
So, like, speaking of movies, this is what brought us together here today.
yes.
With the disappointing release of the Borderlands movies, which made, as of today, only $18 million out of the $110 million budget. Just bad. Don't watch it at all.
I'm
Don't.
shocked, by the way. I wasn't on the podcast. The people don't know my opinion, but I'm shocked. It's
Yeah.
shocking. It's shocking that Jumanji
What?
3 did bad without The Rock.
Yeah.
With that being said, we brought it here to discuss not box office sales, not critics' reviews, but our favorite game to movie adaptation. Let's start off nice. Let's start with Dan. What's your favorite game to
My
movie
favorite?
adaptation?
Okay, so let's and for all the listeners that might think that this might not qualify, I don't care. This is my pick.
That's
So,
right.
With this, it's got to be, and we recorded it, an episode on our podcast. It revolves around Tetris. Tetris, the movie, the best video game movie in my opinion, because it had the great acting, great performances by Taron Egerton, and the music. Callbacks to the video game itself, along with some great Japanese covers, and it totally takes you into that movie itself. But you're rooting for tech nerds and video game right sales. Like, not like, oh, is the good guy going to beat the bad guy? Like, no, you were talking about a tech nerd and just trying to get, like, the sale and the rights. And so that took me out of my realm of, like, yeah, I normally like to see people kick the shit out of each other. And that's like a prerequisite for a video game movie for me.
Right.
But this one was sweet. And, yeah, I mean, if you want to go a little bit deeper, if you want to go into the movie critical analysis point of it, it's like, hey, you're going against patriotism with the United States against the big bad Soviet Union. So what better can you get than a propaganda video game movie and tech nerds and great music all wrapped into one? Nostalgia for everybody. Loved it.
And the wildest thing is, who wrote that? Noah Pink, I believe it was.
Oh, I can't remember.
Not 100% sure.
Can't remember, but
It was
take your word for
a
it.
great movie.
I didn't even think about it until like really sitting down of like, okay, video game movies. I went over the list of the typicals,
Yeah,
right? And
right.
then I'm just like, no, the best movie, the very best movie as a whole, not just a, oh, this made me feel good type of thing.
Right.
Like, no, Tetris, by far, the best video game movie, in my opinion.
And I do.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that movie. You know, following the guy, Hank Rogers. That was the game designer.
Even the name, it's his real name, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You're rooting for a guy named
Hank.
Hank. Come on.
I thought it was. It's out of my wheelhouse. It's not something that I would have been like, you know what? Let me watch this. It just so happened I was thinking, oh, there's gonna be a movie about Tetris, blocks killing people or buildings falling. I thought I went completely the wrong direction with this film, but I ended
think
up
the
watching
movie
the
that-
entire thing.
I think the movie that you're thinking of is Pixels, not a great video game movie.
No, Pixels was trash.
Blocks were
No,
killing
yeah,
people.
oh.
Yeah, Pixels was trash.
Oh no.
But this is on.
But you gotta respect Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Gotta respect Adam Sandler.
This is
Yeah.
an Apple
Yeah.
Plus TV, right? Apple Plus.
Yep. I specifically bought that month's membership just to watch
Okay.
that movie for the podcast.
Oh nice.
Listen, Doe, who you got?
So for favorite,
Yeah,
I got a lot that I don't like, but I had to look at like all of the movies, and although it's franchise-wise, I got a lot of takes, but I have to, for me and how I felt, I was going off a feeling. So for me, the best feeling I ever got was the original Mortal Kombat movie. That was the feeling, like just like like the first time seeing Scorpion on the screen, or seeing Sub-Zero, and it was just, I don't know, like that. It always makes me happy, like that thought of that movie. Like you can watch it now and it's like, but I still feel that way. Like I still feel, like I was the first time I seen it. Even though I know a lot better now, but
Did you watch that in theaters?
yes, yeah, I went to the theaters to see it. Yep, my
Same here.
my brother took me to the theaters to see it.
That's an old school classic. Damn, did I? I don't think I saw that in theaters.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what year did that come out.
Ooh, that was 9.
I'm saying 95,
It
maybe?
was 100% 95.
95? Nah, I didn't see that in the theaters.
Not in the movies.
No, that was when it came out in Blockbuster. When I saw that, 95.
It was electric in theaters, man. Like, I had people going crazy in the theaters. And at that point, I'd never been to a movie where people were interacting with the movie itself. So
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like people were like, like as soon as, of course, as soon as Scorpion did the thing in the forest, like everybody's, it was like it was awesome. I remember it was like a Saturday after, like 11 o'clock Saturday showing. My brother, like we walked to Devin knows the mall, Cheltenham.
Yeah, Ghetto Ham.
And we walked to the mall and saw Mortal Kombat there. Like I'll never ever forget like the feeling of just like sitting there and seeing that and watching it.
Yeah, I was in 95. I was big into my horror. If it wasn't, like Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, The Prophecy, Species, something like that, Leprechaun 3, I just wasn't watching it. Lords of the Illusion came out around that time. I was in the straight horror in 95. That was it. I couldn't branch out into nothing else. I think Tales from the Hood came out too in 95. Like,
oh my God, Tales from
Tales from the Hood.
Yeah. Oh my God, I haven't seen that movie since I seen that movie.
No, less than a month for me. Less than a month.
Really?
I rewatch all the Tales from the Crypts.
Is it good? Like because it's bad?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm.
That's the only reason why to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. That's the only reason why I would watch.
Just to hear the guy to say, "Oh, this shit." That's it. Once he says that line, yeah, you're good. Mark, what you got?
I mean, speaking of movies, this is tough for me, right? Because love movies, love video games, and when you speak of movies that are so bad they're good, like there's so many things I could throw out there, like the OG Street Fighter with Raul Julia, or the original Mario Brothers, which is so terrible.
Oh,
but
that's one of the greatest films ever.
I agree, but Dan doesn't. There's an episode for that.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say that when you talk about video games and movies, for me, the one that started it all for me isn't a direct video game copy. It is a movie about video games that made everybody want the Power Glove. And which is the worst video game accessory ever, by the way, or at least in the top 5. But 89, The Wizard with Fred Savage.
Oh my God.
Tell me you've seen this movie. Where they
wait.
all go to the Nintendo World Championships. Oh, this
I vaguely remember this.
Oh, this was a forming movie of my childhood.
I'm gonna need to revisit this hard.
It's not great, but it's good enough. It's good
Oh my
enough.
God, I've seen this movie.
Would you be able to do like a quick your version of the plot scenario for that?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, no.
Please, please.
I'm going to use modern terminology on a movie that's a little old, but parents get divorced. Older brother takes younger neurodivergent brother across the country to revisit happy places they went in their childhood, and in the process finds out that his brother is Nintendo Rain Man and takes him to the World Championship to win fame and prizes. And they discover
I'm
the
in.
Power Glove along the way.
The,
No,
the
no,
power
Child
glove.
exploitation. I'm in.
It
There we go.
100% is like it's a cult classic amongst those Nintendo fans, but it's got like so many B-level people in it. Like, it doesn't have Jeff Bridges, it's got Bo Bridges.
Okay.
It's got Fred Savage, not Ben Savage.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's pretty,
We got those guys at home.
pretty solid.
Edition.
Hey, but Fred Savage was the shit. He was the Savage before Ben came along. I mean, Wonder Years, come on.
Yeah, I'm a Fred Savage fan.
Great show.
Yeah.
I mean, but Boy Meets World over Wonder Years, right?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Boy Meets World over Wonder Years.
Oh.
I'm gonna go
I
Boy
don't know
Meets
about
World.
that.
Ooh. You know what?
I gotta go Boy Meets World.
I'm gonna split this. They were two different things. I felt two different things watching these shows.
The other show didn't have Topanga,
True.
so
He had. Okay, so let's go. He got
Winnie,
tournament on that show.
yeah, Winnie Cooper.
Winnie Cooper,
Come on.
actually 3. So Winnie Cooper, Madeline, who was like the girl in his French class,
Yeah.
and then all he could say was,
Right.
"Do you want some butter?" in French, which is hilarious. And then there was Becky Slater, who was like that psycho bitch that
yeah.
she wanted him so bad, but he kept on shooting it down. So 3, I'll take those 3 over Topanga any day. Any day.
Daniel Fisher loves wrestling, so I gotta go Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
Fair enough. I mean, you can't lose when you're picking either of those two.
Yeah,
but I don't know,
yeah,
man.
no.
There's no losing with Savages, and again, like the nostalgia of the event that really is like just a bunch of people playing Mario Brothers 3. Such a deep cut of coolness. I mean, they just released for Switch like a game based on the Nintendo World Championships.
Yeah, yeah, they
so
did.
it's timely, it's coming back around, but
Yep.
like I said, there's so many like bad great movies based on video games, but this is like the one at the center. It just draws you together.
See, you brought up one that I picked.
Ooh,
Street Fighter the movie.
yes.
It
Ooh.
is. You got Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, Ming-Na Wen. Unbelievable cast. Unbelievable cast. This movie has it all. Yes. Is it a movie about something completely dumb that just has Street Fighter characters in it? Yes. But it's way too funny to not love. You know, you got M. Bison who kidnaps some hostages. He wants $20 billion or he's gonna kill them all. So what do? You send in Diet UN Nation to try to save these people.
Why not?
And it works. For some reason.
Well,
It's-
you know
it's-
why it works? I'll tell you why it worked. The writer is why this movie works. It's why the OG Street Fighter works. Stephen E. D'Souza,
Mm.
if I'm saying his last name right.
Yeah.
He was the writer behind Die Hard and
Yes.
Commando and
Die Hard,
all of
best
these
Christmas movie
terrible
ever.
80s movies that we loved. And then he just put them together. And he directed it too. Was not like an experienced director. It was like one of those one-offs. I think he's written 44 movies, directed 7, which means that you didn't do a good job directing usually.
Mm.
If you didn't match those up. I wrote it. Can I direct it? Not again.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
again.
yeah. We'll pass on this one.
And I don't know the last time you watched that Street Fighter movie, and this may
this
be
morning.
an off-color take on it, but it is like the pinnacle of coked out Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh.
Like, he is just sweating from the face through the whole movie.
He
And
is
it is
amped.
hilarious, the things
Yes.
you realize as an adult versus as a child who's like, Street Fighter! This is like, Oh, he's going through it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
He's
how he got
blown
so
up.
up. That's how he did that backflip kick. Yes.
This movie has one of the best lines of all cinema. When M. Bison is talking to Chung Lee, and he looked at her and said, "For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was just Tuesday." That is
That
the
was a sweet line.
greatest line. The movie was Raul Julia. This was his movie. It really was. It was his film. He was one of the best villains. Delivered some of the best lines. Fight scenes, pretty good. But when I think of movies, good comic book and video game movies and game movies, this is just something you can sit down, enjoy, and have no problems with. Even if you're the hugest Street Fighter fan, like, oh, there's nothing to do with the story, then you never played a Street Fighter game, because all the stories are completely different. All of them.
Even now.
It's all over the place.
Legit.
But this movie knew what it was. It was a movie for fans just to see Street Fighter characters. Better than that Chung-Li movie.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That was the worst.
Oh man.
That Chung-Li movie was horrible.
I didn't even know there was a Chung-Li movie. Which
Ooh.
Then act like I never even said nothing.
Yeah, it didn't. No, there wasn't.
Yeah. I ain't even
There wasn't.
that whole. We're just gonna move on from that one.
Yeah.
So I will say that Street Fighter, when I first saw it, I was every day after school, almost every day, I would go to Mark knows the place on Orland Hills, a family pantry where they had a Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition arcade game set up.
Ooh.
I would waste so much money, and I was so amped to see that movie, and I was so disappointed. Now, I will say I haven't watched it since, so just because you're talking so much about it, and I'd like to think I've become a little bit more mature, maybe I'll check it out. But I will say that to give kudos to Raul Julia, he was on death's doorstep while filming that entire movie. Like, he passed away shortly before it was released, if I'm not mistaken, and he still gave an excellent performance. So, yeah. Maybe I'll check it out again.
You have to.
Yeah, Raul Julia's last movie. But I think the most important thing about what Dan just said, and the follow-up question that I have is, go-to Street Fighter character. When you're playing, what were you picking? Because I'm going to tell you, I was a Blanca guy all day, button mashing the hell out of that thing. Back.
I was a Vega guy.
Electricity.
That was it.
Wait,
No
you were
Vega for me.
stylishness for me.
Oh, okay. I keep thinking about
Vega
the
for me.
Japanese version, because Vega is M. Bison in the Japanese version. My go-to fighter, I started out with Ryu, and then once they introduced Akuma, I mastered Akuma. I could pull a Raging Demon out without even thinking about it. It's all muscle memory now. That's who I stayed with. And if I got a chance to play Akuma, I'm going to play Akuma. I understand his struggles. Wow, Street Fighter.
So you said Vega?
Yeah, Vega for me.
Right?
Yeah.
Just did you only want to play on his stage just so you could jump off of the cage?
Yes.
It's
It was-
unfair advantage, right? Like,
Yeah.
there you go.
It was the love of steel cage match things for me. It was like, oh, I could do a cage thing.
I didn't like Vega until the Street Fighter animated movie. When
Okay.
him and Chung-Li went at it,
Okay.
and she picked up the sofa and threw it at him and kicked him through a wall. Oh, that's one of the best animated movies out there.
You didn't like the Vega from the Street Fighter 2 movie? Like,
No,
talk about consummate excellence there.
Oh no. Ooh,
Oh, it was a tour de force.
it was. Some of those
That
movies.
movie so accurately represented all of those characters.
It nailed it.
It's so good. So good.
fourth grade me was a Blanca person, just doing the electrocution all day long. But as I got more accustomed to fighting games, I was a big, oh, gosh, it kind of goes back and forth between Bison and Ryu. Which, by the way, that is the correct pronunciation, Ryu. Not all those who pronounce it Ryu, but Ryu. Props to you, Devin, for correctly pronouncing it. But yeah, I would say, I mean, he's just the guy, right? He's got the coolest powers. He has the coolest things that is being said after he does such powers. So yeah, he's my guy.
See, that's why I evolved from Ryu to Akuma. I just needed, when Ryu was able to turn to the Dark Ryu, because he had the what is that power he had? Shohaden?
Oh gosh, I can't
I
remember.
think it was called the Shohaden or something like that. And then when Akuma came out, I'm like, oh, this is everything I love about Ryu, plus a little more. And I just gravitated right to him. Never looked back. Never.
Yeah, I just stuck with the fourth grade, as Dan would say it,
Mhm.
which is why I think that my taste in video game movies sticks with the fourth grade as well.
Moving to the next part of now we got to dive into the worst adaptation. Let's start on back. Del, hit me with your worst movie.
All right, so this was hard.
No, it wasn't.
This was hard.
There's so many bad ones.
There are a lot of bad ones.
This
and
was
they keep
hard.
coming. Like
I
the
got a
bad
shit
ones
ton of
keep
honorable
coming.
mentions, but I think the movie that pissed me off the most had not a mudgy fudgy thing to do with nothing about a damn is Max Payne.
Oh shit.
What in God's name? But it made me hate Mark Wahlberg.
Yes. Yeah. I can agree with you there.
What the hell did I see? And why? Like,
That's another Bo Bridges movie, by the way. Another Bo Bridges.
Bo Bridges is the
Throw
MVP
that
of
out
this
there.
podcast right now. He's getting it.
Bo Bridges is getting hit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's gonna pull a hat trick before this is over.
He might. Do you want to know why Max Payne got made? Because
PlayStation 2 sold 1 million copies.
Sin City was awesome, and they're like, we should do something like Sin City and pick a popular video game.
Oh, guess what?
Max is a cool name. Let's do that one.
Yeah, the front of the cover was in black and white.
That's amazing. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
you are.
Oh my
I think I
God.
saw that movie once or twice in my life.
Let's just put a whole bunch of dumb shit in it. They'll never know. I knew, because I love Max Payne.
Great game.
Oh, so fantastic game. And so I'm going to stop there because, like I said, I have honorable mentions that'll just make me angrier.
Dan, you want to throw one out at us?
Yeah. So and I'm on the borderline of saying this is actually kind of good.
I said
Depending on how
borderline.
you want to look at it, but at the same time, I was super excited to see this movie, and it was a video game that I had dumped a ton of quarters in, and it was House of the Dead. Awful movie, and I thought this was going to be like a legit storyline. No, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like a rave on some island in like Michigan or something. And like, oh, that's your premise for all these zombies? Like, you're going to a rave in all places. Michigan. I'm a Midwest guy, but like, all the best raves are not in Michigan, I swear to God. So, not even remotely close. But if you look at that movie of being the biggest piece of trash out there, and you just want to laugh at how silly it is, because director Uwe Boll has an entire plethora of movies that he directed, all video game based, and he is known as like the worst director out there. I think he got a Razzie Award for the worst lifetime achievement award or whatever. It's like the worst life. They're like, hey, you got an award for being the worst person at this. And so congratulations.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy Ball, House of the Dead. Worst movie out there.
If House of the Dead wasn't called House of the Dead, I'd have been okay. It would have been a fall in line with like a B type movie.
Yeah,
but called Stupid Ass Party Zombies.
Yes, but being a kid, probably spending thousands of dollars at the arcade in Cheltenham, playing this game. No, this wasn't it.
A great video game, such a cool interactive video game, and just to go back to it, I think they even made fun of that particular premise of the movie because didn't they do that in Call of Duty where they had like a level for zombies where it's Rave in the Redwoods or something like that? It's like I swear to God, they just took like a page out of
you might be right.
that movie's book. It's like, well, let's just do a Call of Duty zombies level dedicated to that. And Kevin Smith is actually in that level, so it's kind of cool to see. But that for a video game movie, if you love the video game and you saw that, you turned it off after 10 minutes.
It's a trash.
Oh man.
You got one, Mark?
I got one, and it's going to be controversial because it's newer. But as somebody who had this on the little gray cart and put way too many hours into it, what year did that movie come out? 2018's Dwayne Johnson Rampage vehicle.
Oh my God!
Absolutely nothing to do with the video game at all. Like nothing.
Not a damn.
Let's get a gorilla to be friends with The Rock.
Never seen it.
Sounds awesome. And then they go through
and it
Chicago
was not
with it, like knocking down buildings, and I'm like, this has absolutely nothing to do with this game at all.
Never seen it.
It's another one where they could have named it something else.
Right.
And
they could have named it
like a marginally decent movie.
Right.
But just like every video game movie The Rock touches, it's doomed.
He's a franchise killer. He is a franchise killer. I say it all the time. The Rock, every time he touches something, he destroys it. Everything. He is by far.
Rock bottom.
No, let me back this up.
You're killing him.
Let me back this up. The Rock is a good person. Dwayne Johnson sucks. He sucks as a human being. He sucks as an actor. I can't stand him. He has messed up so many childhood favorites. Even when he decided to come back into the WWE recently, I thought, oh, well, WWE is gone. Didn't he almost destroy it?
He almost destroyed WrestleMania. Yes, he did.
How do you do this?
Yes, he did.
You're not that good of a person. Because you hang out with Oprah, who cares? You're trash. Should not be in movies.
Careful, Dan's going to defend all those Fast and Furious movies to the end, so be careful.
Fast and Furious. So, I agree now.
Furious.
He's like, well, maybe. I think Vin Diesel is, he's the liver, creator, executioner of that franchise, but, hey, I'll still watch him, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, I mean, to The Rock's defense, I will say, G.I. Joe, the first one sucked, and he came out with a better, way better movie, and it had me excited for another G.I. Joe with him in it. He did bring in, like, a cool character into the Fast and Furious franchise, but I disagree with your pick for Rampage because there's no way that's the worst.
It has nothing to do with the game at all. Nothing.
Yeah, I guess the movie itself isn't as terrible as I would say, though. I don't know.
I won't watch it.
Just my opinion.
I mean, if we're trying to get something that gives you all the feels from the video game, this gives you none of the feels from the video game.
Not a damn.
Not a single one. Because it was a real gorilla the whole time.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the game was it wasn't a real gorilla at all. Like, you can't...
I just want to ask a serious question.
And make it different.
Serious question for all of you. Did you ever feel something while playing the game Rampage? Were you ever just like, oh, this is great. This really gives you back, like, the childhood. Like, no!
Well,
Look, if you do some hits,
shit
so you're a liar. You're
I
right.
just like
I
destroying
played that game.
things.
Yeah, it was like I'm gonna knock down another building. Oh,
That
gonna
was
eat that
it.
person. It was just a wonderful. It still is a wonderful button smashing. Just you don't have to think. You just do. There's no strategy. There's some strategy to Rampage, but in general, it's just good old American fun.
Smashing and eating people.
That's it.
That was the only point. That was the only reason I played the game. I got to be a kaiju. I can eat people. Let's break buildings. Oh, this is perfect. But the movie.
My point is, you're not getting warm and fuzzies from playing Rampage.
No,
video
not
games,
at
so-
all. Not at all.
Remember berries though. Like so you can look at other more modern video game movies, right? Like Detective Pikachu or the new Mario Brothers movie, where they give you all the member berries and like it's a solid movie standing alone. Rampage wasn't a solid movie standing alone. Rampage was, we're going to take this from this one and this from this one. Like they made like a really bad soup and it made no sense.
I never even seen Detective Pikachu.
Ryan Reynolds
It's a good movie.
is the voice, so there's a lot of quippage,
Okay.
which
Wow, okay.
I'm a fan of.
Okay.
I'm not even into Pikachu's or Pokemon or anything like that. Was a solid movie. I enjoyed it.
I'm kind of iffy on Pokemon. I'm not into all that slavery.
You know,
It's kind of rough.
you don't have to be. The good thing is, you don't have to be into it. I am like the furthest thing from a Pokemon fan, but I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Alright. I might.
Good integration of animation and live action.
No,
Okay.
on a level of Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Yes.
'cause you can't get no better than that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Greatest movie of all time.
Okay.
Yes. It's
it's up there.
I will
We're
I will,
doing
I will
another one,
punch
apparently.
someone in the face for Roger Rabbit. That is my goat.
dude.
Now I was gonna pick. There's tons of movies out there. I left out the Resident Evil franchise and the Silent Hill franchise because it's hard to adapt those types of games into movies. The lore is crazy. Nobody has enough time on their hand to do those correctly. But Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Whoa! Yes, Lord.
This
What happened?
This sequel to the original movie, I'm not sure. I remember my aunt
Oh.
took me to. We went to the Ritz. You remember the Ritz in Philly?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I went to this bougie movie theater
To see that.
where they sell cappuccinos and lattes and stuff like that to see this movie with my aunt. At the time, I don't remember how I felt about the movie. So, what I did was I rewatched it again. I shouldn't have did that.
Mm-mm.
I shouldn't have did that. Dude,
Mm-mm.
this was painful to watch.
So-
It was a complete downgrade from the original film. The CGI was horrible. The green, how does the background image phase through the person? That green screen was horrible. These PS1 style CGIs and these Spirit of Halloween cosplay costumes, trash.
It's so bad.
The acting, I've seen better acting in adult films. I have. I've seen better acting. I can name Pete North, all types of other actors who've done a lot better in films than this trash of a movie. And it's not like Street Fighter where they made stuff up but it was comical, it was entertaining. This had nothing.
This was
just. Then worst part of the movie, because it's fresh in my mind, when they introduced the animalities.
Oh my God. Shoehorn.
Ooh,
There you go. Shoehorn it in.
Yo, I
So I
remember.
saw that movie opening night at the theaters.
Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Everyone was pissed at the end
Oh
of that.
my
Like,
word.
It was bad. It was
I
bad.
remember this playing on cable a bunch back in the day because
Oh yeah, they ran it
it
to
was
death.
super cheap. I didn't mind it. I was okay with it as a kid.
What?
I haven't revisited it as an adult.
Do it.
No.
So that could be an experience, but it was like,
Yeah.
like a
Oh, it
really
will.
cheap, shitty version of Escape from LA. Like is
This-
what I remember of this like weird dystopian Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it's so.
I could not, like, when I was picking the worst movie, like I said, there was tons to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through my list, scrolling through categories of movies, and then Annihilation came up and it sparked. I'm like, hey, wait, I haven't seen this in a while. Let me take a look at it. And it immediately fell on my list as the worst movie.
Yeah, big mistake.
Immediately.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
That shit, that whole thing was a mistake.
Didn't expect
I don't
that one.
know.
You
I don't know
talked
what they
about
did.
how Raul Julia had like one of the best lines in a video game movies, maybe even the
Mhm.
movie in general. There's a line in Mortal Kombat Annihilation that's the absolute worst, and the delivery of it is even, it makes it even like the in its own category. And it's Katana when she sees Sindel for the first time. She's like, "Mother, you're alive." And then Sindel with the best acting in the world. She's, "Too bad. You will die." It's like, all right, come on. Like, I think there've been like internet memes and clips of that all over the place, but so awful. But you had Raiden, who Christopher Lambert from Highlander fame was in the first one, and then you get the guy from the Warriors, James Remar, as Raiden in the second one.
You're like, who else?
Cigarette raspy and everything. It's like, it just doesn't mix. It's like,
Oh no, they also downgraded Sonya Blade in this movie too.
nope, upgrade. Super hot. Sandra
Yeah,
Hess,
Sandra
super
Hess
hot.
was.
Dude,
I don't know.
Fantastic.
I
the
didn't
other
like
one
the
was
dynamic.
Victoria Vaughn.
So what? Upgrade.
Mm.
Sandra Hess.
I didn't like the dynamic between her and Jax. They were. First, I didn't like how they matched the fights up. These fights made no sense.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah.
Why is this person fighting this person? Why is this person doing that?
They were trying to shake it up.
Oh, they shook it up.
Oh, they shook it up
Bottom
to
of the
hell.
trash can.
They shook it to hell.
There was like one good fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and that was it. Like, everything else was kind of just like
Yeah.
weak.
Did y'all see the new Mortal Kombat movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Chandel hates it.
Stupid ass.
Better than Annihilation.
Better than
I mean,
Annihilation.
fuck.
Better than Annihilation. Cold.
Better than
Oh, I got
Rampage.
armor. Better than Rampage.
Yeah.
I got armor. Stupid ass.
I
That shit was dumb.
didn't know who Cole was.
He was no one.
Yeah.
They made him up for this.
Nobody.
No one.
Why? Why did they have to do that? If anything,
correct.
he should have been the new Scorpion. He could have been just a, hey, if you're a descendant of Scorpion, just let him be the new Scorpion. And that's
Wait,
it.
was he Lin Kuei?
He was worthless, is what he
He was Lin Kuei?
Well, I mean, because he was a washed-up mixed martial artist. And that was pretty much it.
So how's he
But
descended of Scorpion?
his bloodline reaches all the way back to the Scorpion. And that's it.
What? Did
Yes.
I forget this movie?
Y'all,
I know I
y'all
saw
need to
it.
Stop, like taking
Watch
me
it again.
Serious.
Watch it again.
Wow.
Dumb.
But I will say, there were some cool parts to it, to where they were making fun of the video game, where Kano just kept on getting swept over and over again. I thought
Kano
that
was like
sweet.
the Kano was like low key like the MVP of the movie. Like he was the most entertaining thing in the movie to me.
If I remember your episode of that, Devin, I think you hated Kano, right? Or maybe, did you guys not talk about that at all? Or maybe I'm mixing things
Did I?
up, but
I don't trust me.
maybe.
I
But
see a lot of
but that-
stuff.
Kano was excellent. Like,
Yeah, Kano was
laser
great.
beams out of my eyes.
Yeah, Kano was great. As one of my least favorite Mortal Kombat characters, like just like video game lore and all that, like that's I don't
Josh
care.
Lawson.
But like Kano was cool in the movie.
I got to see this again
Yeah.
because the only one I really remember, I can't say his name. Hiroyuki
Yuki Sanada.
Hiroyuki Sanada. one of the greatest actors to ever live. I ain't never seen him in nothing bad. Well, no, The Last Samurai sucked.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you didn't like it? I like that.
It's why The Last Samurai a white dude? I don't.
All right, you want me to get nerdy on this one for you? So the reason it's all focused around Tom Cruise because he's a star, right? And so everyone thinks that he's the last samurai, but it's not so much him as the individual; it's the samurai as a whole. They're dying off, so this is the last samurai as a group, and then that's why.
Okay.
But at the same time, like when it first came out, I saw the Chappelle Show with Paul Mooney making fun of that. Like it's might as well make a show about Tom Hanks being the last black man on earth. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But no, it's so funny that you bring that up because I thought the same thing. It's like, yep, Tom Cruise, not Japanese, doesn't make sense.
It's 2003 movie. I've never seen it because the only thing I like to see Tom Cruise in is Mission Impossible. So when I saw
It's kind of
this,
solid.
I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold off.
I'll pass.
Yeah. But if you gotta watch Shogun. If you get a chance,
I heard good things.
oh my goodness, that is a great movie, a great series. What's up?
Okay. I had my hand raised because I can't hold this in any
Oh,
longer.
your honorable mentions.
I have and we just the topic we just had just now, the things we just talked about is my biggest honorable mention that I have more, but this will be it. This will be it here for me right now, my honorable mention. So, Prince of Persia, Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm done.
Yo, I was trying to figure out how to
respect that
mention
pick.
this as just a terrible movie. Just like, why? Why is he the Prince of Persia? Who did Jake Gyllenhaal know? Like, so here's the real question, right? Worst Gyllenhaal insertion: Jake Gyllenhaal as Prince of Persia, or Maggie Gyllenhaal in the Batman series? I don't know.
I'm going Jake. I still gotta go
right
Jake.
there.
Yeah, I still gotta go Jake
at
though.
the same time.
Prince of Persia. I gotta go Prince of Persia. Cause what the
Wow, I haven't. The movie came out in 2010. Sands of time. Never seen it. I probably seen it and completely flaked on it. But I'm looking at images of this, and I'm like, oh, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
What are we doing with the world?
I had to release that. Sorry.
It's a fair pick.
It is
Fair
the fair.
I feel
terrible
better now a little bit.
It's what's crazy because the Blood Rain movie is better than the Prince of Persia
Oh
movie.
my God, Blood Rain.
Blood Rain 2005.
Directed by Uwe Boll.
What? Yes. Yes.
Yes, man.
Yes, he was.
If you want to just if you want to binge like the worst movies, then I'm sorry, worst video game movies, then he's your guy. He is your guy.
Like, it's not as bad as like DOA, Dead or Alive.
Ooh, that
was horrible.
That one's also pretty bad. That's
damn.
also pretty bad.
Ooh, forgot about that one. Ooh.
Did anybody mention Double Dragon and just how bad that
I had it.
was?
I had it.
Wait,
And you know
we
what's
not
funny?
like Double Dragon?
Yo,
I wanted to watch it over the weekend, but I was a little bit too busy to watch it. But I did want to watch it over the weekend just to see.
that was somebody who said, "Man, that original Super Mario Brothers movie is so good. We should do the
Let's
exact
get it."
same thing with Double Dragon."
I thought
Ah,
maybe I need to go back and revisit Double Dragon
If
because
you
in
can
my
find it,
mind,
man, because that is
It's
nobody
on
talks
Peacock.
about it. Oh, it's on. Oh man,
It's on
It's
Peacock.
on
thought it
Dan
was
Sanders'
awesome.
streaming
I had it on my list to watch this weekend.
Oh man, like
I never watched it.
Oh
Never
my
watched
God.
it.
Oh jeez.
I love how all of our honorable mentions are for like really bad movie,
Great.
right? Like nobody talks about like how the newer ones have been pretty solid lately, right? Like the Sonic movies have been marginally okay after they redid what Sonic looked like.
Right, yeah.
Nobody taking it back to The Last Starfighter. Does anybody remember, or has anybody seen that movie?
I heard. I did not ever see it.
Oh,
The Last Starfighter.
oh,
I heard it advertised.
check it
but
out.
I never seen
It is
Okay.
old, but long story short, they stole the premise of it for the new Need for Speed movie, or I don't know if it's Need for Speed or maybe Gran Turismo. It's Gran Turismo.
Okay.
But like, you played this game so good, you should be the it's an 80s movie. So you gotta accept The Last Starfighter for its old, from the time of Tron old. So it's not gonna be amazing, but like, the premise of the movie gets pretty cool for what sci-fi was at the time back in the day, right? But everybody's talking about the bad ones. Nobody also talked about Assassin's Creed.
I hated that damn movie.
I'm like,
That movie
what?
sucked. That
What?
movie sucked.
I
Why
can't
are
even
we
get into
going-
the game.
How did we
That movie
get
sucked.
this giant, like, and the recycling?
Let's put Michael Fassbender in it. That'll sell it.
You know, at least they got to reuse the props from Assassin's Creed in the last Star Wars movie, right? The Rise of Skywalker. They used that big ass arm to put Palpatine on in the end, right?
That
But,
was
like, that movie Assassin's
sucked.
Creed movie. I was like,
I went to the movies to go see that, and I didn't want to go to the movies to see it, but my wife was like, "I want to see it," because we both love the game franchise, and I'm like, no, this ain't gonna do what you think it's gonna do for you.
that's
It
the
ain't.
feeling I had with Borderlands. It's like, this
And
is not
and that's
gonna work. This
Yeah,
is not
and it's funny.
Who are
Me and my
these
wife
people?
have played all. Me and my wife played all of the Borderlands like multiple times. So like we love the friend. As soon as the trailer hit, we're like, no, this is bad.
Assassin's
This
Creed
is
is not
all
a good
bad.
game.
It's a worse movie, though. It's
Yes,
a way
God.
worse movie.
Whoa boy.
Well, I think Warp.
I will say, for the because you had mentioned Gran Turismo, I just recently watched that. Solid movie. I enjoyed it. So that's actually my honorable mention. I thought it was a little too real, so I kind of left it off the list in terms of a good movie. But it's entertaining, good race. If you like racing,
It's about turning left.
yeah, pretty much.
No,
I
it's
can't
left,
get
right.
to
It's
not
more.
bad.
It's not just one direction.
Oh, okay. I can't get into it.
It's not a NASCAR movie.
It's based off a true story though, which is a good thing. Like that's kind of what makes it like really interesting to me. I was like, no fucking way that this worked out this way.
Oh,
but
I've talked
it
about it.
did.
I've talked about it. It's so stupid. The fact that you can play a video game and become a professional driver. I've been playing Skyrim for over 10 years. I can't throw a fireball. I can't summon a dragon. None of it. There is no translation.
Agree
I
to
play Call of
disagree.
Duty. I'm
Agree
not
to
ready for war.
disagree. Those racing sims now are very, very tight to the reaction of the vehicle. And if you see some of like the Formula E drivers transition it into like Formula 2, it works. Like it gets there. Because some of the hard and I'm talking about like Formula 1 cars, that level of racing, right? Which is not like an American NASCAR bullshit thing, right? It's like using it's a completely different kind of car, but the hardest part sometimes is understanding the mechanics of the vehicle, not just like turn wheel right, turn wheel left. It's turning it up, turning it down, using and balancing the engine versus the electric portion of the car. Like there's so much there. And it also speaks to the amount of time that actual drivers put into sims to be able to get there. So it's knowing the track and knowing the car. So it plays out more in that racing world. It's not like that NASCAR guy who another video game reference to real life racing. Did anybody see the video a couple of years ago where the NASCAR driver just sent it into the wall because you could do it on GameCube.
Oh yeah.
Like, I did this on GameCube forever, and I never thought it would work. And then they outlawed that shit like the next day.
Yeah.
But the racing translating to real life, way more translatable than fighting orcs.
I still can't believe it. I still can't believe how this guy and he evolved. I give him props if it's based on a true story. I give him props and living his dream and doing great things. But nah, stop giving kids out there hope. Cut it out.
It's just dad's dreams.
Yeah, kill him early. I remember my son's 19. My son came to me like, Dad, I want to be a rapper. No, you don't. Cut it out. No, not while I'm breathing. Ain't happening. Kill them dreams early. Now what's he doing? Working to be an engineer.
I mean,
Respectable.
That's it. You want to be a rapper? Be a part-time rapper. That's like me. Everything I do for fun is part-time. I have a professional job that I show up to every once in a while. But no, I'm not doing that.
being a person is part-time.
But we're gonna wrap this one up. Fellas, Dan, Mark, tell everybody where they can check you guys out at.
So we are on the socials at I Can Do This All Day podcast on Twitter, Instagram, X, Instagram, and TikTok. We also have our YouTube that's out there as well. But yeah, come listen to us, subscribe on Spotify, anywhere you can get a podcast. And if you are new to this podcast, just because you see us, give these guys a follow and subscription. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, great episodes in the back catalog on Level Down. Huge supporter.
We appreciate
Thank
that.
you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Like, just absolutely. Hey, I could do this all day.
And with that, we'd like to thank y'all for coming out listening to the Level Down podcast. Please give I Can Do This All Day a podcast a like, comment, follow,
Please,
share,
yes.
subscribe on all their socials, YouTube, and everything. All those links will be down in the bio. Don't forget, we'll see y'all next week.